for Michael, you're playing Mike, but also you played an iconic character with the Thing, Fantastic Four, with his exterior. And so I was wondering, how do you connect with the idea of just not letting the appearance of these define you?
Well, listen, uh, this is an incredibly inspiring. I was 59 when I made this movie, just like Mike was 59.
Nerd Reactor, roll out.
How's it going, Mike and Michael?
Great, man.
Good, John.
Good, good. So, Mike, I'm going to start with you first because this movie is inspired by your story of just defying expectations, and it's never too late to just go for your dreams. So I was wondering, just looking back now at just your life, well, what do you think, or what do you hope that audiences will take away from your journey?
Well, hopefully they'll realize that like I did, that there's nothing you can do about the past and that regret that I'd lived with for so long, mainly because I wouldn't forgive myself. I just wouldn't allow myself to get past it. But I've said many times that I knew I couldn't change the past, but I could maybe change the meaning of the past by doing something positive now in the name of that mistake or that regret that I had. And so I hope people realize that they can do something now to change the meaning of any regrets that they might have. They can go after that dream. They can continue to rethink walking away from that and doing something that is meaningful in their lives, even if they just make an effort. That it's amazing the healing impact that it has. And then I just hope people forgive themselves for mistakes that they've made.
Oh yeah, and I think this is for Michael. With just you're playing Mike, so a real person in the flesh. And so, what was that like? Just getting to the shoes of Mike.
Well, I mean, it was a joy overall, first of all, but it was daunting for sure from a physical standpoint. But also, we met on the phone a couple of times, and then we met in person. And then I realized, oh, they're not going; they're staying. And because Mike and his wife Eileen were on set every single day, all day, and that was daunting because at first. But it ended up really turning around and being a great resource for me on set because I could turn to Mike and say, "Hey, Mike, what was this like?" What I think one of the things I love the most about this movie is the humility of it, the humble nature of it, in that it's not very Hollywood. How you see things on a movie that based on a true story. This should say this is a true story, and further, when God, I lost my train of thought. I was so excited about this. I actually,
About stepping into my shoes.
yes, right. You know, look, you just get opportunities in your life, and I've been very blessed to have a couple of great opportunities along the way, and this was one of my favorites. This was something that required a lot of physical effort, a lot of different things to have happen, and all the ducks lined up in a row, and telling Mike's story. I think that people will love it.
Oh yeah. And another thing I love about this is like it's the message of don't judge a book by its cover. For you, Mike, just being there, just being like the older guy with all the young guys, and then also for Michael, you're playing Mike, but also you played an iconic character with the Thing, Fantastic Four, with his exterior. And so I was wondering, how do you connect with the idea of just not letting the appearance of these define you?
That's for
Oh,
you.
well, I've tried to get across to as many young people as I can that you have to believe in yourself. You truly have to be able to look in that mirror and reflect and believe in yourself, because when you don't believe in yourself and your God-given talents and abilities, then someone else can define you. Someone else can place limitations on you. And it happened to me when word got out that I was going to go back and try out for the team. I received calls, emails from all over the world, literally Japan. But it was guys asking me, what about your shoulders? What about your hips? What about your knees? I didn't have any of those problems, but they did. And they were they were just transferring their limitations to me if I would receive them. I mean, I had 2 physicals, and the second doctor told me, he said, God, you're in great shape. He said, I think you need to see a psychiatrist, but other than that, you're good to go. And so, just have to believe in yourself, not let somebody else define you.
And Michael, you too about that.
Well, listen, this is an incredibly inspiring. I was 59 when I made this movie, just like Mike was 59. And, having to go through all of what I went through just physically to make the movie, it made my sort of respect and admiration for Mike grow exponentially. Look, you're talking about what Mike said about letting other people define you. I'm an actor. I live in show business. And if, everybody with thumbs now can try to define you, you know what I mean? Everyone has an opinion and they share them, you have to be strong, and you have to, know who you are and what you stand for. And you have to hold to those things. And the fact that Mike, was able to be reflective enough to look at his own life and have these regrets and not be able to forgive himself for the past, and then finally find it within himself to go, I have to do something about this. I have to turn this boat around. I have to be able to find redemption for myself. And though I can't change the past, I can actually change the value of the present and the future. And, the perception of it and what I, how I live my life going forward. That's beyond admirable. It really is inspirational and exciting to watch, so, hey man, yeah, this is a football movie, but it's a whole lot more than that. Yeah. It just is. And I'm just proud to be a part of it and to help tell this story.
Yeah, that's a wrap for me, but I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, and I can't wait for everyone else to watch the movie when it comes out.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so The Senior, it's all about second chances and also defying expectations. So I was wondering for each of you if there's ever been a moment in your career where people have doubted you, but you proved them wrong.
Yes, doing The Senior.
Doing anything. Doubted.
Doubt myself.
Okay, I could go with self-doubt. Yeah, self-doubt. Yeah. I was terrified. I am a singer, but I was always terrified to sing, just terrified. And I auditioned for a Broadway musical. I actually became ill. I was so nervous, and got the role and did it. And sang in front of thousands of people every night for a year, having never sung in front of anybody prior to that. That was my big personal overcoming the odds of my own doubt.
Here's the stakes were lower for mine. I took a clowning class once in college. Terrifying class because
clowns are terrible.
Couldn't speak, first of all, really. And the final exam for that class was everybody had, we had developed our clown character, and we had to go into the middle of the class surrounded by everybody else and make the entire class belly laugh.
Oh my God.
And, half of the class, you either jumped off the cliff and did it, and I did. I don't remember a thing of it. I'm pretty sure I went right for the toilet humor. But, it was either that or run out of the class, which some people did, it was terrifying. But usually, yeah, I'd say just go for it because you're probably not going to remember the experience anyway.
When you're terrified.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah. And Mary, your character in this, supportive, but also understandably worried. And
Yeah, worried.
so
Yeah.
I was wondering what the process for you was like in trying to balance the loving aspect, the encouraging aspect, the fearful, but also stern.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's all the script, right? And also the real Eileen, who is all those things. And so um basically taking her lead, but yeah, no, I wanted to make sure there was enough pushback because so we added a little more because it's not very interesting if there's nothing on his home team pushing back. We
Yeah.
have a coach pushing back, and you got the whole team pushing back
Right.
against him. But that felt important to me. But the love and the support and the unconditional, true, genuine partnership between these two is inspiring. They're as real people. And then on top of that, just uh holding up a mirror, like, do you see yourself, man?
Yeah.
I think that's also part of real love is giving your partner the truth
Yeah.
with love.
Being the voice of reason
Yeah, just
sometimes.
like, hey, we're your team too.
Yeah.
Um,
And a nice kick in the butt.
and here's reality,
Yeah.
just a snapshot of reality now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
yeah,
know
Rob,
what you're
oh,
risking. No, go
yeah,
ahead.
Rob. So you've known for your comedy and also you mentioned you're doing the clown stuff, and then fast forward to
Current
now,
semester.
yes, a
That's the movie.
coach, very serious and worried coach. Just like, I don't know if I want, Mike Flynt to be on the team. And so I was wondering for you, what is it like, just playing this character, just compared to your past work?
Um, well, to me, there's not a lot of difference between doing drama and comedy. If anything, there's a little less pressure on drama. I when I first got to New York after graduation, I considered myself, I fancied myself a very serious Shakespearean actor. The comedy was not in the cards for me. I was the real deal. Um, but with this character, I drew upon sort of all these coaches I had as a kid in Boston, and they were all very stoic, men of very few words and super frowny. So that's who I sort of had in the back of my mind as I was playing this guy, like just focused on the play and the fundamentals, and then this circus comes to town, and he's got to deal with that.
Oh yeah. And for both of your characters represent like the different parts of Mike's dream. So I was wondering, like, from the family part and then from the football part. And so, what do you want audiences to take away from both sides of that support system?
You're never
Well,
too old to dream, right? You're
yeah,
never too old to have a second chance or a new start or second act. Doesn't have to be finishing your first act.
right. Yeah,
Um,
and who hasn't found themselves swept up in someone else's story, right? Like I think from both of our characters' parts, we were, she in the movie at least wasn't even told what he was doing when he was down at Sul Ross. Just thought he was gonna check
visit
out the campus.
visit the friends.
And with the coach, this is a surreal experience that nobody ever saw coming and didn't necessarily want to have to deal with. So I would say people can really relate to that. Being swept up in someone else's often unrealistic story.
Oh yeah, it's inspiring and crazy.
Yeah,
And
Totally
second,
crazy.
totally
yeah.
crazy.
Don't try this at home,
Yeah.
kids.
Don't try to
Yeah.
solo. But the theme of second chances, and since we're Nerd React, I want to ask you this: if you had the chance to watch any like fictional character in pop culture to get a second chance, like who would you want to see get that chance?
Oh.
Let's see. Iron Man got his already. I guess the Hulk got his.
I'll get
Trying to
theirs.
get nerdy here.
Uh,
Boy, they all that's kind of built into these pop culture characters, isn't it? That
That's true.
they
Yeah.
take advantage of their second chances.
Yeah.
So which is kind of apropos when you think about it. Like Mike Flynt is the hero of this story, not just by virtue of the title. Like he really has all the traits of a classic hero, you know?
Oh yeah, Mary. I don't know if you can think of anything on the top of your head.
I'm not thinking of anything. I'm thinking of all these things similarly that do have their
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man second, third,
Yeah.
yeah, like all those, which I
Or
love.
maybe a villain.
Yeah, exactly. Villains, you don't want them. They
Magneto.
always have their second chance too, don't they?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no franchise.
Yeah, right. Where you run out of story.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's nice, like in something like Wicked, where you think that they're the old bad
That's a
guy,
good
they
one.
got a
Oh,
second
yeah.
chance, like
A good
Alphaba
one.
is that kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't really know.
Hamilton is not going to
And-
miss his shot.
No, not gonna
Oh,
do it. Shut. That's
yeah.
true.
I love
This
it.
is the Hamilton of football movies.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, and
Yeah.
I like what is it? There's a quote with the 59-year-old Rudy, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's what's so cool about it, though, is like the fact that there's, a kind of second chance story for somebody of this age, too, to be at the center of the story, because a lot of times that's not the case. And so it works as a football movie. It works for people are my age who are looking at wanting to not feel irrelevant or invisible anymore. We still have dreams. It's never too late to dream. And then it also just works as a football movie. Like
Yeah.
you stand up and cheer, you got all these young men out there on the gridiron killing it, and it's well shot. It's like it's delivers
Yeah.
in those ways. So
oh
kinda-
yeah,
I love
But yeah,
I,
And it doesn't
I
have to
love
be
a
like
sports movie.
it doesn't have to be completing a football season from 30 years ago either. It could
Right.
be like any small thing in your life that you think I could have done that differently or better. People will watch this movie and think like, God, maybe it is possible. It's a lot easier than taking hits on a football field to like make up with my sister or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's also like I love that it's a D3 team and it's not
Yeah.
going to the NFL. It's not about that. It's sort of about the potential for teams to be transformative, and leadership, and how a masculine, in particular, leadership to younger men can be modeled. And so it's taking all that on too, which is usually not in the football movie.
No.
And yeah, so I think it's really cool in that way too. And it's just like any town, any organized sport, even Pokemon. There's a play.
Especially Pokemon.
I was like, my son is a player on the regional scene, so I'm
Nice.
telling you, like
on the regional
these guys are the most cordial, the best competitors I've ever
Right.
seen in my life. So they're already there, but the football culture could use this message.
Yes.
They should go to a
Yeah.
Pokemon regional.
oh yeah.
Championship.
Great message for everyone. But I just want to say thank you, Mary, Rob, for taking the time for the interview, and I can't wait for everyone else to watch the movie when it comes out.
Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for your time.